Hey guys, how's it going? So today I'm going to do an unboxing and initial review of my Taurus G3c TORO 9mm pistol. And this is the new version that just came out last week. It's the optics ready version. And I'm really excited about this pistol and I'm looking forward to doing this video. And I hope all of you enjoy the video too. And if you do, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Now, before I even open this, I want to give thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, people who have joined the channel as members, and using my Amazon link, and all of the different ways that you guys help out the channel. Look, just watching the channel, hanging out, and telling your friends, you're also helping to support these videos too. So when this pistol was first announced last week, I did a video you guys might have watched on this channel letting you guys know why I didn't have one, and I asked you guys, can you let me know where to get one? And like you guys always do, you really helped me out. You told me a shop that had them. I went there right away. Last Friday evening I bought this pistol with my own money and really from the generous contributions of you all. So thank you so much again to all of you who helped me get this pistol for the channel and to do videos for all of you. And if any of you would like to help out, the links to support the channel are down in the description. So let's take a look at this new Toro. I'm itching to get this box open and we'll go through it all together. So this is what we're looking at right away. Now I'm not going to spend time on this, but there's a couple things that I like to go over with the paperwork. Just remember, these Taurus pistols do have a limited lifetime warranty, but there's a little stipulation. It says activate immediately. You have 30 days, so don't forget to do that if you do want the lifetime warranty on this handgun. They're showing here that they will work with the 15 round and 17 round magazines for the G3. Check out my Taurus playlist, by the way, if you're new to this channel or just new to these pistols period. I've done lots of videos on the G3c, G2c, G2s, TH9c. Just go check the playlist if you're just getting into these. You'll see me using these pistols with the 15 and 17 round mags, and they work absolutely great. Here's the manual. It looks like kind of an updated manual that's now covering the G3 and G3c. I'm not going to bore you with the whole manual. However, I always recommend you guys read this, especially if you're new to guns period, or new to pistols, or new to these types of firearms. There's lots of important information in here. First and foremost, safety, and then little things like how to service, how to clean, all those types of things that are very important. So yeah, these manuals have always been good so far, and I'm sure that this one's going to be very similar to the rest. I am noticing there's a little extra part at the end here that is going to have to do with the Taurus optic ready mount, how to install it, and we'll get into all of this stuff right here in 1 second. It comes with the gun lock. Some of you are required to use this, some of you don't like these, but it's there. Now we've got the handgun itself and some magazines and mounting plates. So let's get this out of here and take a quick look. So here is my brand new G3c TORO pistol. Let's see what else is in the box real quick, and then we'll definitely get into this handgun. Now, it's basically a G3c. I'm going to tell you guys this right away, except for it has the optics mounting plates. I'm going to go through the whole gun because some of you are considering whether you want a G3c or a G3c TORO, so hopefully there's some good information for all of you, even if you just own a G3c or you're looking to buy one. Now, I'm going to tell you guys this right away, and I'm going to do a small follow-up video just because I don't want to spend too much longer on it here. On Taurus's website, they advertise that these include 3 12-round magazines, or 10 rounds if you need that, if you live in certain states. And due to you guys recommending and letting me know, which I'm very appreciative, I was able to get this from a place called Grab a Gun. And when I got my handgun, it came with 2 magazines. Now I'm going to tell you this right now. It's okay. Okay, I'm going to get the third. I'm very happy with Grab a Gun, and I'm going to do a short video review of that company because it was my first time going there. So I'm only showing you 2 today because these are just honest unboxings, and that's what happened. I got 2 12-round magazines, and they are supposed to come with 3, just to let you know. So there you go. And then we have a bag with mounting plates and screws. So let's go over the pistol itself real quick first. So we basically have a subcompact or compact 9mm polymer framed striker fired handgun, chambered in 9mm. And as you guys may already know, if you've been watching my videos, I really like the G series. You know, the G2C is where I started it all on this channel, progressing into the full-size G3, the G3c, and I really love all of them. So you guys probably aren't going to be surprised that the second I grab this pistol, it's very, very comfortable, and that's what's kind of drawn me to these G series of Taurus pistols. The polymer frame literally fits my hand perfectly, almost like it was made for me. What I like is although it holds 12 rounds, which is actually quite generous for such a small handgun, the grip is not overly thick at all. And I would note that on the bottom here, it's quite comfortable, but even as it tapers up, right where the webbing of my hand goes, they even kind of narrow it down just a little more so I can fully grab onto the gun, kind of, you know, choke up on it if you would. And it just literally just fits perfectly. There's a little swell here for my palm. I wasn't sure if I would like that or not initially when I first got my G2C, but I've actually grown to love this. My thumb just fits right there. The frame feels very narrow. And then we see the same thing over here on the right hand side. Now the texturing, I like the texturing, okay? It's rather rough. It kind of has like a sandpaper type finish to it. But I like that they just put it in the pattern where you need it. So you've got these two little kind of teardrop shapes on both sides of the grip frame, as well as the back here. Just a nice little area. Same type of texture all the way around, and also in the front. But it doesn't have any texturing up here. And I don't really need texturing up here because I'm using most of the support, at least the way I grip a handgun, down on the lower half, and I'm getting all the grip I need where I need it, but I don't have any unnecessary stippling in the back or on the sides, rubbing my hand raw or side of my thumb. And I really, really like the ergonomics of this a lot. It's very, very comfortable. Going forward, they have these little memory pads where you can remember where to keep your pointer finger. I don't necessarily need this there, but it's nice. Why not, right? The trigger guard, it has a little bit of an undercut there if you look. See how it swoops up right where it meets the frame? This is good because it allows my middle finger to get up just a little bit higher, okay? In my opinion, the highest that I can grip on a handgun without the slide giving me what's called slide bite, making contact with my hand, the better. Because the reciprocating mass of the slide, the barrel, and the recoil, this all happens up top. You know the whole pendulum effect? Like you could move the world if you had a long enough lever, right? Same thing applies with these handguns. If you have a grip or a trigger guard that makes you grab really low on the pistol, you're going to have all of this leverage further away from the support of your hands. But the shape of the upper part of this grip frame, the slightly undercut trigger guard, the rather generous little beaver tail portion on the back, I can grip very high, get the maximum control out of this little handgun, and as we see here, really it's not even coming close. You can see better on that angle probably too, grabbing on the meat of your hand right there. And some of you have probably had that happen before, and if you have, you know what I'm talking about. And look, as much as I've been shooting, I've shot all kinds of guns. Sometimes I'll grab an older gun from like the 70s, 80s, or even a gun from 100 years ago. The ergonomics weren't always so good. We're kind of getting spoiled lately. I've had slide bite before, but on these Tauruses, never even a consideration. So the way it fits my hands, ergonomics, awesome. Now here's something else I really like. It features a 12 round mag, but the base plate incorporates this pinky extension. So without this mag, say they had a flush fit mag, which is what many of these gun manufacturers do, my pinky just hangs right off the bottom there, and that's not so comfortable, right? Why not get a full grip on the handgun? I mean, it's only 9mm, but it's a smaller pistol, and for some people, it's a little bit snappy. So with this incorporated pinky rest, pinky grip here, awesome. See how my hand fits this just right there. Now, my hands are probably on the medium size, but I've had a lot of viewers tell me that they have very large hands and still find this handgun to be very comfortable. You know, people with smaller hands, especially a lot of women that come in here and leave comments, say that it fits their hands very good. So if you have small hands or big hands, from what I've been told by people, by a lot of people, because people really give me a lot of feedback on these, it seems to fit most people's hands pretty darn good. The polymer feels very high quality, just as good as anything else on the market, to be honest with you guys. Very sturdy, very solid. It's moderately squared off on the front of the trigger guard, guys. I shoot more with the thumbs forward, like this type of position, right? If you want to, though, and bring that pointer finger up to grab the trigger guard, I could care less if you do that. You know, it is very comfortable, too. So some of you guys might like the shape of that trigger guard there on the front. It does feature a single slot Picatinny rail. Now, in my experience with the G3c, this is basically a mil standard 1913, but you are going to be limited to the accessories you can put on this just because you don't have a lot of real estate from front to back, with this being a subcompact. So make sure you're choosing accessories that, you know, are made for a small gun like this, because some of them, they're just going to, like lights, for example, there just won't be enough room for it to interface with the rail before it runs into the front of the trigger guard. And let me know down in the comments. I know you guys are looking for modifications, upgrades. I've done some on the channel already, but I'll definitely look for more input from you guys, you know, for my next videos. And I am going to be doing some mod videos on this pistol, as well as my other, I guess I'll call it regular G3c. All right. The controls, they're actually quite comfortable. I can grab onto the magazine release right here with my thumb, pretty darn easy. The magazines drop free like nothing. These are very, very smooth, shiny mags, which I like. I've never had a problem with these dropping free, except one little tip for you guys. The pinky extension, it's awesome, and that's right where your pinky gravitates towards. Now, I've done this. This is how I know it's easy to do if you're not thinking. Make sure you're consciously pulling that pinky away before you hit the mag release button, right? Because if you don't, and your pinky's right there, you can find it where it drags on there and see how it kind of caught and didn't completely drop free. So, just a little tip for you. It's like muscle memory. You're always grabbing onto the handgun with the pinky firmly planted on that base plate of the mag. Don't forget, peel it away when you're releasing the mag. And these are drop free, and I think you'll be very happy with how quick they just pop right out of there, guys. I mean, look at that. It just shot right out. You can see it's got a decent amount of spring tension. Look at that. Not that you would do this in real life. I'm just showing you how powerful the springs are on these 12-round magazines. So, there you go. Your slide catch over here on the left. Some of you call it a slide release. I don't care what you want to call it. Pulling the slide back. No mag in the gun, no ammo. You're just going to press up on it, let go of the slide, and it holds your slide to the rear. No problem, very easy to get a hold of, especially on an empty mag, no mag I should say. Very easy to deploy. Now I've done a video on this, go check the playlist. Very difficult to actuate this, guys. I want to emphasize this. I'll leave a link to this video down in the description. If this is really, really hard to push down, like almost impossible, your gun's not broke. You're not doing anything wrong. This is actually normal, and I did another video telling you why. So don't worry about that at all if you're new to these guns. It does feature a manual frame mounted safety here to the rear of the slide catch. You just simply swipe up to put it in safe. Brush it off. You'll see the red dot exposed for fire. Now, this is a single double action striker fired pistol, and Taurus actually has their own name for it, and they call it restrike capability. So after you run the slide, it's going to reset the striker and put it in what's called single action. And we're going to notice there's a blade safety here. So first you have to depress the blade safety till it's flush with the trigger shoe. This is the first time I'm pulling the trigger on this, so we have the take up, and I feel a wall right there. And I would note, I feel like no grittiness in this at all. This might be the nicest trigger right away of any of my G series pistols I own. So, depressing that, right there I hit a wall, pretty abrupt, and the striker goes home. Not bad. Let's reset that again. Cool. So we're going to fire our shot. Single action. The slide is going to reciprocate, right? And I'm going to show you guys the reset. Right there. Very short, very crisp reset. And I'm ready to fire again off of single action. I'll do that again for you guys. Right there. Wow, this trigger is nice. I've been really impressed with the G series triggers as far as the G2C, not bad. When they came out with the G3, in my opinion, they had a vast improvement on the triggers with this new type of blade safety. Same thing with the G3c. And this particular one seems to be probably the best trigger I've ever had on one of these, to be honest with you. Now, if for some reason you're in single action and you went to fire your shot, click, no bang. You may tap rack, and there's different, features people use, different techniques, right? However, this does have the restrike capability. So if you fired, click no bang, you can just simply let the trigger fully reset, pull it again, and this time you're in what's called a double action. So instead of just feeling like just a little bit of take up and then it firing, this is just going to have a tiny bit of slack right there, and then it's a longer, heavier trigger pull, and you can actually keep on pulling as many times as you want. There's different people that offer different training advice on how many times you would want to restrike versus just giving it the old tap, rack, and going, but it is nice to have that restrike, and I've heard a lot of you guys talk about how it's actually come in handy for you in the past. One more thing, this blade safety is really nice, and I like it more than many of the striker fired handguns because it's very wide, as you can see there, and when you depress it, it goes completely flush with the shoe of the trigger, whereas a lot of handguns, and handguns that I really like actually, they kind of have a little downside to this trigger blade safety where it still kind of sticks out in the middle, and it kind of makes a little pressure point on the pad of your finger. And it's not a deal breaker, but I'll tell you what, after using this trigger, it's become one of my favorites just with how wide this trigger shoe is and how it sits flush. It doesn't make any pressure points or hot spots on my finger whatsoever, and I can shoot this pistol for quite a while. It's a very simple mechanism, guys. If I don't depress the blade safety, we're going to see to the rear there's a piece of polymer right there, and it's just going to simply block it from going through. It blocks it from going through the frame. Now when I get this out of the way, it moves a little linkage in there and allows the trigger to go to the rear and let the striker go forward and hit the primer on your cartridge. One more little detail, and this stuff does matter. There's a little nub on the very bottom of the trigger shoe. You can see it right there. This is your over travel stop. So some triggers, when you pull them and the striker falls, let me switch it around this way, you can still keep pulling the trigger back even further. Well, that's unnecessary travel, making it a little slower for it to come out and reset, right? See how that nub is making contact with the frame? So basically, right when it strikes, you're already to the back, and there's no unnecessary over travel on the trigger. So needless to say, great trigger, especially for a budget handgun, right? All right, let's go up here to the slide. So we have a steel slide, and this features a Taurus finish. Now Taurus, you've probably heard of that if you're familiar with Glock. It's a type of nitriding process. There's other names, other brand names of it, such as melaniting. But this is in the nitriding family, and Taurus has had a pretty good reputation. So it's nice to see that this has a high quality. It's really a surface treatment and a finish all in one. When you're looking at Taurus or nitrides, it actually does a surface hardening of the metal, okay? And as part of the process, it ends up giving it the black color. So this isn't really fair to call this a coating. It's actually a surface treatment and also gives it its final finish. The serrations on this are plenty fine. I found these to be very comfortable on this as well as my previous G3c. Nothing crazy looking, but look, I'm just grabbing it with my fingertips. Not a problem. I usually rack my pistol something like this, and it's very easy to slingshot it. Now there's very subdued front serrations, which are actually fine if you want to do a press check right here. Okay. It does feature a loaded chamber indicator. Now they got rid of the manual one with the G2C when they went into the G3 series. However, there still is a sight window, and you can look in there if there's plenty of light, and you can see the little shiny brass or maybe steel casing in there. So that's your loaded chamber indicator right there. It's just a little hole at the rear of the barrel hood, right? So yeah, the slide's nice. I do like how they melt the fronts so it doesn't look quite so boxy. Pretty stylish little pistol, right? Look at the front there. Very nice. Same thing in the rear. It's kind of a melted corners. There's no abrupt hard radiuses. The finish feels very nice. It's not overly glossy, which is good, but it certainly feels a little smoother than the previous finish they used to use on like the G2 series. By the way, I am going to do a G3c compared to or versus or whatever you want to call it. G2c versus G3c, we'll say. Because a lot of you are still interested in the G2c and you're kind of wondering if you should upgrade to this Toro or the regular G3c. Alright, now this does feature a Glock Dovetail in the rear. Alright. It will take many Glock sights, most Glock sights. There's actually a whole story behind that. And I have a video that I'm going to be releasing any day now of me putting Glock sights on my G3c. And I'll give you guys a teaser. I've already done it, and the video will be coming out soon. This is just my regular, I want to say my regular old G3c, but these actually really aren't that old, right? So, same thing, it's going to take a Glock sight in the front. There's a whole number of models of Glocks that are going to be compatible, with a few exceptions, and I'll go in more detail on my Glock sights video on my G3c soon. Now, this is the Toro, and basically what makes it different, so far I've just been talking about what is a G2c, right? One more thing, it does feature a 3.2 inch barrel. We'll take a look at the front of the handgun. Nice fit and finish there. Everything feels pretty darn tight on here. There's a little bit of room in the front like there is on all striker fire pistols, but man, this thing's actually pretty darn tight. Nice. Of course, this is brand new, hasn't been broken in yet. The recoil spring is quite robust on these. It's a dual stage recoil spring. Yeah. I think some of you want to see me take one of these or G2c, G3c apart and show you how I clean it and lube it. Let me know down in the comments if that's what you'd like to see, because as far as disassembling and cleaning and lubing, these are all going to be about the same thing. Alright, so here's what makes this different than the regular G3c. This is the Toro model. So this is the Taurus optics ready version, and we can see right off the bat there's a cut in the slide with a filler plate, and it's actually kind of cool. I just noticed this for the first time. They actually kind of paid attention to details, and the side of this plate actually coincides with the same rear cocking serrations. So you get the serrations all the way up to the top. Now this plate that's included is metal. It does attract a magnet, so that's nice. It appears to have the same Tenifer type black finish on it. That's a good thing. It's secured in with 2 screws. Now you can run this pistol, obviously, and that's why they give you this cover plate with just the iron sights. You could, while you're saving up to buy an optic, or let's just say you're not sure, okay? You think you want a micro red dot sight, but you don't know, so you buy this just so your options are open. Say you shoot it with a red dot for a little while, and you find you either don't like it. I mean, a lot of people love shooting with optics, but some people are going to just want to go back to their irons. That's okay. You have the option to literally pretend that this doesn't exist, and you could run it forever, just like a G3c. Now, you're probably spending the extra money for one of these, though, because you want to run optics, right? But I just wanted to make that clear to people. You don't have to use optics on this, and that's why we have a cover plate that basically fills in that milled out portion. Alright, so this is going to take several different types of optics, okay? And that's why they're going to provide 4 different mounting plates. So let's see if I can get these out without losing all the screws. Now, I wish that there was just one standard form factor for all red dot sights, but it's not the way it is. In fact, there's so many, it's hard to keep track of sometimes. And one of the most frustrating things is, if you guys have been shopping for red dots, you know what I'm talking about. Half of them don't even like to tell you, very easily anyways, what form factor their optic fits. It can get quite confusing. Now you're going to hear people throw out there the term RMR. They'll say, does it have an RMR cut? Is it cut for an RMR? And it might be, because there is a specific name brand called Trijicon, and they're actually located just down the street here in southeastern Michigan. Great company, by the way. But just remember, RMR is a proper noun, and just because you have a red dot sight does not mean it's an RMR. And there's actually all these different cuts out there. Now, some aftermarket companies are going to use the same profile, form factor as RMR, Trijicon, but not all. Hey guys, if you're into optics, sorry to bore you, but there's a lot of new people getting into this, you know, and these types of pistols, and I really like to welcome the new people, and we can't take stuff for like that for granted, because I hear so many people, they're using RMR like the generic Kleenex when they really just mean facial tissue. So I digress from that, but keep in mind there's plenty out there, including the RMR cut. Now I'm referring to my manual right here. I'll hold this open for you guys if you need to pause. Now I know Taurus is also going to have a download of this. All right. So we're looking at plate 1, and there's going to be different types of screws. So they're literally telling us, see, there's the baggie with the screws and the Allen wrench. So plate 1, they're saying is going to take Dr. Noblix, Vortex Venom, Burris Fast Fire, and Sight Mark Many. So if you have one of those, we're going to look through our plates here. We're going to see they're numbered. Okay. There's our number 1 plate. So if I had one of those named optics, now there's many others that are going to fit those form factors. But if you're buying, I don't know, the Kung Pao Chinese off-brand one off of Amazon. By the way, if you're buying any optics on Amazon, use my link down in the description and it will help the channel. But I digress. They're going to say, well, this is doctor compatible. Okay, so if you have a doctor compatible, you're going to use plate 1. And you're going to use type A screw. You're going to see there's clearly 3 different heights, shapes of the heads on the screws. They're kind of easily distinguishable, right? So there you go. Same thing. Now let's say you have a hollow sun, HS 507. All right. You are going to use hollow sun 507. You're going to use plate number 2. Now I'm not going to keep boring you guys, but you can obviously keep going through all these plates. Here's plate number 2. Now there's going to be slight differences in these plates. They're all going to interface with the slide of your handgun the same, with the Toro pistol, but they're going to have different profiles and different spots where the different holes are and things like that. See the different standoff points right there that are going to interface with your optic. It's kind of just plug and play, like it's either fits or it doesn't. Now, unless you own a fab shop, you can make your own. But for the rest of us normal people, it basically either fits one of these form factors or it doesn't. So there you go. Now, I am going to note the hollow sun. This is interesting. The Trijicon RMR, okay. Plate 2. Okay, or the hollow sun 407C. So there you go. This is where it gets so confusing. If you have the Trijicon RMR, okay, or the hollow sun 407C, you're going to use plate 2, but you're going to use the original screws provided by the manufacturer. But let's go over the hollow sun 507, right? And it's going to use a different type of screw, but still the same plate. It gets confusing. If you own one of these, yeah, just refer to this page on the manual. This is going to be very valuable, because how can you possibly memorize this stuff? I know I already said this, but I'm going to say it again. Why? Why? If any of you guys have any influence over optics companies, I think it'd be great if they could all come up with just like an SAE standard or something like that-ish. Like, I get it, though. People have their intellectual property, and one company owns a patent on one shape and the other does another. But it'd be great if we could finally just ditch all these plates and have a universal standard, because then we could actually get our red dot sight to mount lower, recess down into the slide a little more, which will make it co-witness with sights and all of that. But I'll get into all that a little more when I do a follow-up video on this little pistol. So what are you guys thinking? Let me know down in the comments. There is a price increase from the regular G3c to the G3c TORO. However, your results may vary. I'd be willing to bet if you wanted to run a red dot sight, okay, on your regular G3c, and you took it to your gunsmith and had them mill and cut it for a certain type of optic, you're probably going to be at about the same difference. I think this was about 70 more than the regular G3c. Maybe someone somewhere might do it cheaper for you, but I could see it costing that, if not even double, from what I understand, just to get it cut. Now, if you just cut your slide, right, get it what's called cut, mill out the materials, right, and cut it for one optic, you're going to be stuck with that footprint. However, if you want the versatility of all of the plates that come with this, so it's 4 main options, but if you consider there's like 5 to 10 companies, in some cases 50 companies that make something for a certain form factor, by having all these plates really gives you the versatility where you can install tons of stuff, because trust me, everything is not RMR nowadays. All right, so you'll decide that for yourself. I think it's fair though, really. I mean, it's about 70 extra. You do get this nice cover plate, you get the 4 extra plates, and of course the machine time and labor to cut the slide. I get it, they probably do it really quick, whatever, but hey, that's just how life works, right? Anytime the gun's a little fancier, you can go across all the different brands that are now having optics ready slides, and they always charge you a premium for this cut in the top. And from my research, actually Taurus probably marked theirs up about the least. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good deal overall. I'm really excited about it. I only have a couple red dot sights right now, guys, like literally like 2 that are for small handguns like this. My other ones are more for, you know, rifles or larger type pistols. So I have one that I know is going to fit on here for a fact, because it already matches up to one of these. The other one actually doesn't match up. So I'm going to do a quick follow-up video of me seeing whether my 2 red dot sights will install on this. And when I say red dot, it could be red dot or green dot. It's just you kind of get in the habit of saying RDS or red dot sight, right? So here's where I'm going to ask you guys another favor. Let me know if you have good experience with any, like, let's just say somewhat budget optics. I don't have a lot of money, and we don't need, I mean, look, $700 optic, it's like awesome. And if you have something like that and you can afford that, you should get it. I love Trijicon type optics. I don't think I can really afford one of those right now. So if you guys know anything that's like mid-range budget, or even if you have a really cheap one, I'll try it out. If it breaks, we'll let everybody know. If it runs good, I'll let them know too. So just let me know what you guys' experience are for budget or mid-range, let's just say. And if you guys want to tell us about your awesome $700 Trijicon, please share that too. Don't get me wrong. I'm just telling you that you guys are helping make this channel possible, and I don't see having like $700 in the budget right this minute to put a red dot sight on here. But yeah, this seems like a real nice one, guys. And I mean all of these. My other G3c, my G2cs, I really like all of them. But man, this one just seems like it almost has a little bit extra fit and finish to it, if that makes any sense. I mean, this trigger's nice, guys. Check this out again. Firm wall. Click. Coming off the reset. Very crisp and short. Nice clean follow-up shot. Wow. Yeah, I really like it. Let me know you guys' requests down there in the comments. Seriously, I have about 10 ideas written down because I read all the comments. If I give you a heart, that means I read it and I liked it. I try to leave a written response back to all of them, but I just don't quite have enough time nowadays to do every comment. But I do read them all, and I appreciate all of your input. And hey, if you guys have questions, just go down in the comments. I'll try to answer them. If not, I'm going to say this. If you're new here, I have some of the nicest people that watch my videos and some of the smartest people that watch my videos too. You'll probably get some really good sound advice. And I'm definitely counting on you guys to give me some advice on what type of optics I may want for my new G3c TORO 9mm. One more thing before I go. I've not forgotten about you guys that are happy with your regular G3c. You're not going to upgrade. Like I said, there's a sights video coming up soon. Here's my Forge Tech IWB holster. Totally love their holsters, as you guys may already know. Let's throw it in there real quick. The new Toro. And it fits like a glove. There we go. Which I thought it would. I'm going to be talking. One more thing if you're still here. You know, leave some input, because I was just talking to the owner of Forge Tech. He's thinking about doing a optics cut holster for these G3c TOROs. So definitely let me know down in the comments. I can't promise you for sure what the timeline would be, but I can tell you this, like any business, if he sees there's enough people that are going to be buying these TOROs, mounting the optic, you can see right now, it ain't going to work, right? And that's going to be the case with any holster. It has to be a special holster made for you to have a red dot sight on the top. Let me know down in the comments, and I'll definitely let you guys know, you know, if there's something going to be coming out from Forge Tech, and if he does make one, I'll definitely get one and show you guys. But there you go. Right now, as it sits with no optic, of course, it fits the regular G3c holster, which is a different holster than the G2c, by the way. You guys ask me that all the time. They have different shaped slides. They're just different holsters. All right, I want to talk about a lot more, but I feel at this point, the video's gone long enough, and I'm definitely looking forward to a couple follow-ups. I'm going to try to memorize this chart and see what I can come up with, but I think you guys will probably give me some good recommendations down in the comments on maybe an optic that the viewers would like to see and that I might enjoy using. So I really appreciate it, guys. And stay tuned for my quick follow-up review of my customer experience, you know, customer service experience I had with there being only the 2 mags. But it's going to be a good experience, so don't even think about anything negative. It's okay. I'm really happy, guys, and I'll see you guys again very soon. All right, thanks for watching, and have a good one.